What if the things you dislike about yourself were never flaws? What if they were skills you learned to survive? The overthinking, the people-pleasing, the need to handle everything alone. What if none of that is random? Here's something most people never realize. Some of the strongest people you know never actually feel safe. They smile, they perform, they succeed, but their nervous system never fully rests. Because when a child grows up around unpredictability, the brain doesn't complain, it adapts, and adaptation leaves fingerprints. Imagine your brain as a security system. In most homes, the alarm turns on when there's danger and turns off when things are calm. But if you grew up around emotional chaos, your alarm system didn't just turn on, it stayed on. And over time, that changes you, quietly. You don't just walk into a room, you scan it. You notice tone shifts, micro expressions, energy changes before anyone says a word. You call it intuition, but maybe your brain once learned that reading the room kept you safe, and now it still does it, even when there's no threat. And maybe you feel like you always have to be useful, helpful, responsible, low maintenance, because somewhere deep down, you learned love wasn't automatic, it was earned. So now you overdeliver, you apologize too quickly, you take emotional responsibility for things that aren't yours. Not because you're weak, because once upon a time, harmony meant safety. Picture a child in a house where arguments happen without warning. One day calm, next day explosion. That child becomes observant, careful, mature too fast. They learn to fix problems early. They learned to stay small. Fast forward years later, that same child looks independent, strong, self-reliant, but they never learned what it feels like to truly depend on someone else. And here's the confusing part. Peace feels uncomfortable. When things are quiet, you wait for something to go wrong. You stay busy, you distract yourself, you create pressure, because your body learned chaos, and the nervous system always trusts what feels familiar. Which part of this felt the most familiar?